Listen, man, are y'all ready for episode 124 of the Dojo Talk Podcast? Oh, y'all ain't ready. Oh, so y'all playing? Yo, John Sanchez, yo, come talk to these people, man. Come talk to them.
Sanchez, we ready? 1 second. I'm loading up. They give me time to load up. Are we ready? I guess not.
Yeah. Living every day to define man's mission. Look into the sky for divine transmission. Deaf man's vision makes the blind man listen. Eyes on the prize, this is blind ambition. Thank you.
Welcome to another edition of the Dojo Talk Podcast. I am your host, Serial Sensei. We are on episode number 124. As always, you can check this podcast out on SoundCloud, YouTube, iTunes. If you're on iTunes, please rate, subscribe, and leave a review. You can also listen to us on Spotify as well as Google Play. You can hit us up on social media at the Dojo Talk Podcast Facebook page, as well as the Dojo Talk Podcast Instagram page. Send questions to dojotalkpodcast@yahoo.com. And you can follow me on Twitter at Serial Sensei if you feel the need to do so. And you can also follow me on Twitch, where I stream video games and do bad at them, but I try.
I mean, that's the important part.
Yeah, you gotta give the effort. It's all about the effort. I'm joined here on this gloomy. Well, all right, the sun's trying to creep out over here, but it's gonna go away. But I'm joined, as always, with my co-host Antaku. What's going on, man?
Not much. Just rain. When I'm done with this, I gotta clean my room for the first time in like 6 years.
Yeah.
What else? Nah, that's it. I live a boring life.
Yeah, such is life. This is adulthood. This is the side of adulthood they don't tell you about. It's not exciting. You just wake up and the days just kind of run into each other.
Oh God. That sounds like
one day you're 7.
That sounds like college.
Yeah, and then one day you just wake up and you're 75 and you don't know what happened. You don't really remember how you got here, but you got here. But, make the best of it, kids. But, yeah. I feel like somehow we just have to start with Ja Rule. We gotta. Y'all say a prayer for Brother Ja. For Brother Rule. If you don't care about Ja Rule, which, I'm not blaming you if you don't. But,
I am.
He was somehow, I don't know who in Milwaukee's, committee thought this was like a cool idea, but, Milwaukee Bucks, NBA team had a nice little, 90s throwback night. And who better to perform halftime to represent the 90s than Brother Ja, who didn't really make any noise until like 99, which really means the 2000s, which means he probably shouldn't have been there. But, he came out, man. He tried to do his thing. He tried to get the crowd real hype. They weren't biting. They were not, it didn't go down, I think, the way he thought it would. And, yeah, for you people who are posting, excuse me. I'm dying. Josh trying to curse me. I saw the other video. The people like, oh, they muted the original video. Here's the one where there's noise. There wasn't a lot of noise in that crowd. I'm sorry. I don't think anybody was ecstatic to hear Ja. So yeah, Ja Rule. Just go look up the video. You think the Fire Festival documentary is why they got him? Like maybe he's just popping out because of that.
I mean, yeah, maybe. It could also just be whoever's in charge of like booking those types of deals is just like, it's just like, oh, I remember Ja Rule from when I was 12. Yeah, let's get him let's get him to do the show because he'll probably do it super cheap.
That person should have a stern talking to. I ain't gonna say fire him because they, that provided a great clip, but put him on.
I mean, let's be real. This clip is gonna get more mileage than if it was somebody these people actually knew. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I guess in a way, Ja Rule never dies.
Yep.
He never goes. Ja Rule is somehow taking all the losses, but he's still undefeated. Somehow he's done both.
It's that chill sun and veil of invincibility, where when he loses, he doesn't really lose.
Yeah, and he takes it all in stride.
What's
kind of sort of.
Got to do.
But, shout out to Ja Rule for doing Ja Rule things.
Oh, see, I want to know what Ja Rule's streaming numbers are like. Oh, wow.
I feel like he probably does good.
Yeah,
to be honest.
like
we will continue to make fun of Ja Rule, but
4.1 million monthly listeners.
Yeah.
On Spotify.
Because people make fun of Ja Rule, and I'm one of them, but Ja had hits. A lot of them.
Always on Time has over 100 million, streams.
Yeah. Like, the man, I don't think he really put together, great albums, but the man had hits for days. You can't really front on him on that. I mean, he had hits for days.
It's the voice.
Yeah, it's the voice, and the 50 thing really... Like a lot of rappers claim to oh, I'm gonna ruin your career. No, 50 really did he really did stomp that man's career out.
Yeah,
it was.
Bad. I mean, first it was 50, then it was Eminem, and it's just at that point.
Yeah, he got dogpiled.
I mean, who really comes out of that fight?
Then he went quiet. Then Dave Chappelle dug him back out of the grave and made him a meme again.
I think that's the thing. I think Ja Rule's just embraced the fact that he is a meme.
You have to. I think that might be the reason he's still undefeated, because he could be taking this a lot worse than he is.
He should.
Yeah, he probably should. But you gotta respect it. He could be out here on social media every day just firing off shots at people, but for the most part, it seems like he keeps it cool. Fire Festival thing, that was a whole nother issue, but he takes it in stride, man. He takes it in stride. But shout out to brother Ja, somehow still making headlines in 2019, whether for whatever reason, he's still out here. But
that just reminded me of something. Remember forever ago I was telling you about this thread about what was happening in the streets during the 80s and 90s hip hop.
Yeah.
Somebody was telling spilling all the secrets. So the Ja Rule and 50 Cent beef actually started as a thing where the guy who was putting up money for Ja Rule's career, for him to record and stuff. I guess he was at one point boys with 50 Cent.
Yeah, he robbed him.
Yeah. Yeah,
their beef was actually really, it wasn't music related. It was actually very personal.
Yeah, no, the guy, the guy who put up money for Ja Rule's career was boys with 50 Cent. 50 Cent was mad that he was getting behind this dude who was not a street dude. Ja Rule was not he was not a big mover in New York at all. And he actually got that's part of the reason 50 got shot. He kept pressing Ja Rule, and the guy was just fuck it, if this is how you're gonna be, we're just gonna have somebody shoot you. And then Hamo got shot 3 weeks later.
Yeah. It was such a different time back then.
I mean, it isn't any different really. It's just everything. Everything's on the freaking Instagram now.
I think it was a bit more. I don't know the word. I feel like rappers nowadays, and I'm not saying it's it's a bad thing. Everybody now is really buddy. I feel like confrontations back then were a bit more personal because there was no social media.
Well, if you want real beef, you go to the dudes on World Star who have 100,000 views. And who are actually dissing each other on songs, and then going because they live 2 neighborhoods across from each other, going across and just shooting the shit out of each other.
I remember, and it was such a no-name rapper, so I couldn't tell. I don't even think he was even semi-famous. I think he might have been just like internet, if even that. But like he so, I don't know how he found out. He found some fan who said like he didn't like his mixtape online, and like his crew and them just like jumped the guy, and they made him say like, "Oh, I like your mixtape on camera." That was the moment I realized I had to get off of World Star.
Yeah.
It was becoming too much.
Like,
Becoming too much.
oh my god! Like,
why are we fighting over mixtapes?
like, everything gets to everybody now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Freaking like Chicago is nothing but dudes getting shot over like music videos. Music videos that like only other gang members watch, which is really weird.
I don't know. I'm afraid to what this is all going to morph into like 20 years from now. Like it's going to be out of hand.
The last one standing will be 21 Savage. He's going to be the only rapper still alive.
He'll bounce back from all this.
No, he's the only one who seems to have any like, I'm not even going to say like common sense, but like he seems to understand like, hey, I don't need to be doing all this dumb shit anymore.
Yeah, no, yeah, he's cleaned himself up.
He might be he might be doing it from London, but
hey man, still doing it.
Yeah,
still count. Shout out to 21.
But, I'm happy he's out of ICE detention.
Yeah, that's a wild. Between that, was that this month? Did that originally break this month?
Yes.
Boy, Black History Month has been
historic.
Yikes. Historic for all of the wrong reasons. There's been so much just we got to redo in March, man. We got to have a second go around because this month was not it. There was a lot of foolery this month that
I mean, like I don't even know who the hell to shout out in this situation, but you know, fuck R. Kelly. He's going to jail.
Yeah, he's finally getting out of here. It's probably about 30 years too late, but I guess better late than never. But yeah, he's getting out of here. Who else they got out of here?
Robert Kraft.
Yeah.
Well, I don't even want to laugh at that because like okay.
I laughed because it was like that was not a headline I was ready to see like early in the morning.
Right.
It was like, what, Robert Kraft? What? But then I thought about it. I was like, it kind of makes sense, to be honest. Like,
well, I say I can't laugh at it because of like the situation for the girls, or like
yeah, because it was like human trafficking.
Yeah, no, yeah, like that, like if it was just like, you know, woman of her own free volition or whatever, that's one thing. But that's some straight up grimy stuff.
Yeah. And keep an eye on that story because from what I've heard, they said like Robert Kraft isn't even like the biggest name that was like attached to that.
I wouldn't doubt it. Dude, so, you see the stuff that's coming out about Epstein? Well, not coming out. Everybody already knew, but like they're reopening his case. Like the head of the Department of Labor is being in, like his name is being involved and stuff. It's crazy. Yeah. The world is run by shitty people.
Yeah, that's the moral of the story. But yeah, keep an eye on that Kraft story, even if you're not a football fan. I feel like there might be that's not the last we're gonna hear of that. There's a lot of people are probably gonna go down behind that. I just imagine Robert Kraft snitching on everybody.
He's like, here's a list of names. Can I please go home?
Yeah, I gotta go get another Super Bowl ring. So, but yeah, that was our Ja Rule and celebrity spiel for anybody who cared. But moving on, as always, of course, lots of fights to cover. Well, not really. There were a lot of fights this weekend, but I think between you and I, we both really only watched like one card in total. I watched part of one championship, none of Bellator, and we'll get to the UFC when we get to it. But, of course, as always, got to start with the news and notes for the week. It's kind of funny because last week I felt like there weren't like really any news and notes. Not much was going on. This week, boy oh boy,
we have MMA. A mess.
Oh yeah, we got a lot. we try to keep these podcasts. The goal is to keep us under 3 hours, but Lord, they do not make this easy. But
that's our goal.
we're going. I guess I'm trying to set that as the bar to stay under 3 hours. But man, there's a lot to talk about. So as always, I'm just gonna run through these real quick. I say real quick in quotations because there were a lot of fight announcements, and to be honest, some of them I just didn't write down because there were just so many. And
well, I got the Fort Lauderdale and the UFC 236 cards in front of me.
Yeah, I'm about to say like 80% of my fight announcements only come from like one card. Like
right.
236 just gave like their whole roster. 237 did like half of theirs. But I'll run through my spiel and then we'll go back and some of these we'll have to pick apart because there are some storylines and things to be said. But running from the top, the big one that just got announced a couple days ago, Max Holloway versus Dustin Poirier will be going down at UFC 236. This will be for the interim 155-pound title. We'll come back to that. That lightweight situation, just, yeah. Also, on 236, Kelvin Gastelum versus Israel Adesanya. I didn't write it down. Is that for the interim?
Yes.
Yeah, that's also be for the interim middleweight title. Hopefully that gives Gastelum enough time to get that plague off his face, because I think 236 is in April.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, go get that cleared up, bro. Should just be enough time. All right, UFC 236 also. There are a lot of fights, so I'm just going to list these off real quick. We got Eric Anders versus Khalil Roundtree, Ovin St. Preux versus Nikita Krylov, Montel Jackson.
It's a rematch.
Oh, snap. All right, 2. Montel Jackson versus Andre Sukumtat, Paige Van Zandt versus Poliana Botello, and I have Wilson Hayes versus Alexandre Pantoja. So UFC 236 is looking pretty stacked. It's a lot of good fights. That's going to be one of them cards that there's going to be a lot to talk about probably after that one's over. But moving on, UFC 237 also has a pretty decent host of fights announced. We got Anderson Silva versus Jared Cannonier. We got Little Nog versus Ryan Spann. Jessica Rose Clark versus Talita Bernardo. Wu Yanan versus Luana Carolina. And Betch Kohea versus Irene Aldana. All going down at UFC 237. At the UFC Ottawa card on May 4th, we have Elias Theodorou versus Derek Brunson. At the UFC Miami card on April 27th, we have Carla Esparza versus Livia Hanato Souza. That should be a dope fight. And at UFC St. Petersburg, we have Marcin Tybura versus Shamil Abzarak Himov. Probably said that all wrong. But that's going down. We'll dig into this a little later, but for those who didn't know, GSP did announce his retirement via press conference. But like I said, I'm just going to run through these and we'll go back and dig into them a little more. So that's all I got pretty much for UFC news. Moving on to Bellator, just a few minor notes. They did re-sign both of the Pitbull brothers for a multi-year extension. So I just wrote that down because I just think it's kind of cool that Bellator pretty much has some lifers now. Like, dudes like Chandler and the Pitbull brothers are just like proven staples in that company, and I think it's good for Bellator that they have there's certain names that you just associate with them now.
Right.
So I thought that was cool. So shout out to both Pitbull brothers, and in a year where tournaments seem to be all the rage, Bellator is getting back. They're in the tournament game. Well, they already were with the welterweight tournament and the heavyweight. But they're bringing it also to the featherweight, so they will be having the 16-man featherweight Grand Prix. That's going down in October. I don't know if they had any matchups really listed, but I'm pretty sure we can guess some of the people who will be in there. But, when the full list, comes out, of course, we'll let you guys know. And one championship, Yushin Okami signed to one. I don't know what division he's fighting in. The man has fought in like every division somehow. But that's the thing. And the last the last news I have, I just randomly came across this, and I'm not watching it, but there are probably tons of you who will be lining up to hand over $24.99. So I figured I would let you guys know. Mr.
Yes.
Dada 5000. Dada 5000, he's back. We haven't heard from him in a while, but apparently, like, his health's doing okay now. He's not fighting, but he's on the promotion side of things. Yeah, he's promoting an event called the BYB Brawl for All.
Oh, he's bringing it back?
Yeah.
Oh,
sweet. So it's the bare knuckle league. What I thought was interesting, so the cage that they fight in is called a trigon.
Yes, it is.
So
it's a triangle. It is literally a triangle.
It is a 187 square foot triangle. And according to Dada, and I ain't gonna lie, I kind of like this quote. This cage is not, I'm paraphrasing, but basically what he said is, this cage is not meant for people who don't like confrontation. So if you don't want to get punched in the face, don't fight in this promotion, because there's not a lot of room for you to really run around. But the event will be on Fight TV for $24.99. I think it's also on like on demand, Direct TV. There are a couple other services, but I just wrote down the Fight TV one. So it'll be on Fight TV for $24.99. It is headlined in what is, I guess, a rematch fight that was in the Dogfight documentary. Alfonso Frierson and Mike Trujillo is, I guess, the headliner. They had a co-main event, but honestly, I didn't write it down. So I guess, if you want to get your bare knuckle fix, Dada 5000 got you. He got you guys covered. So that is BYB1 Brawl for All going down for $24.99. Oh snap! Did I write the date? I did not write the date. Just Google it. You'll find it. I want to say it's in. Is it April? I don't know. I didn't write the date down. I'm sorry. Terrible at notes. But
will they be on a boat?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Because I'm pretty sure his last event. No, it's gonna be at the Cheyenne Ice and Event Center.
Oh yeah, it's in like Wyoming.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot to mention.
Where I'm assuming bare knuckle. Is Wyoming the only place where bare knuckle fighting is legal?
I guess so. They don't got nothing else going on. So if you're in Wyoming and you listen to this podcast, go check out bare knuckle boxing. Oh snap! Call back. I didn't even mention listeners. I forgot to give you guys your shout out. Let me do that real quick. I'm sorry. I'm all out of order over here. All discombobulated. Shout out to the listeners, Tumblr people, Twitter folk, wherever you listen to this. Top cities, just to reel them off real quick. Paloha, all right, I'm sorry, Brazilians, I'm saying this wrong. Palhoca, Brazil, number 1. Mexico, number 2. Carlsbad, California, number 3. Stuttgart, Arkansas, no. Okay, I'm about to have a dumb moment live on air. What state is AR again?
Is it not?
Okay, that's Arkansas. For some reason, I was about to say Alaska. Stuttgart, Arkansas, number 4. And St. Mary's, Pennsylvania, number 5. Inexplicably at number 6, Trnavgrad, Vihom, Slovakia. Shout out to Slovakia. So thank you to the listeners. But back to the news. All right, let's
start off with the big one, I guess. Like GSP, calling it a career. So
did you watch the?
I didn't watch the press conference. I saw some a few headlines and stuff about like what he said and everything. But like I basically there was a little bit of confusion. People saying, didn't GSP retire like years ago? They gave up the title, then he came back. So like, why should we believe him now? GSP didn't retire. Like he openly stated he was just tired of MMA. Like between his health, like the anxiety it brings him and the pressure, he just wanted a break. Took a break, came back, won a title, got hurt, like aggravated an injury, like an intestinal injury?
Yeah, something like that. So chilled out again.
Yeah, and he's been angling for a fight with Khabib, and apparently everything those talks fell through. So he just felt it was just time to call it quits while he was ahead.
Yeah, I watched I didn't watch the entire press conference, but I watched like a 10-minute clip they had of it. I mean, basically I feel like if you've been following GSP for a while, like I don't think this retirement was really any shock. And it was honestly one of the reasons like I wasn't like really bummed out about it, because it was just kind of one of those things like I figured this was gonna happen sooner or later, and GSP is kind of one of those people that he kind of does things by his book. Like he's not really I've always said this. Like I feel like the first time he took that break, I feel like I doubt. I mean, he definitely probably anxiety, pressure, all that definitely played a factor. But I also think he probably saw kind of like the direction the sport, or at least like the UFC in particular, was heading in.
Right.
And I think he was kind of like, nah, I'm good. Like, yeah, y'all have fun with this. I'm gonna go chill out for a while y'all get this sorted out. But like, basically, what he said in the 10-minute clip I saw was, it's not like a physical thing. Like, he still feels like he's in really good shape. He's not he's a legit like martial artist. So he trains all the time. Like he's not like he's just sitting around doing nothing. But for him, it was just like I don't really. It was like a hunger thing. Like I don't really have just the drive to really do this anymore. Like I don't wake up every day and feel like I need to prove something. Now it's just kind of like, and I get it. Like if I'm not, when you lose the drive to do something, there's kind of no point in really, because at that point you're just forcing the issue. Like you're just doing it just to do it. But yeah, I think with him it was more so like he didn't have the hunger to really do this anymore. There weren't really many other goals to accomplish, and then a big point that he drove home, which I wish more fighters would do. He said that he always wanted to retire on top. Like he didn't want the sport to force him to retire. He wanted to leave on his own terms. Health is in good attack as you would, I guess, hope it could be. Not go out and we've seen it plenty of times. Fighter fights like 5 years past his prime, gets KO'd in like his last 10 fights or something crazy like that.
BJ Penn is still competing.
Right.
Diego Sanchez is going to compete this Saturday.
Yeah, like he didn't want to do that. He wanted to leave on his own terms and just I will say I still have a small. I'm not even gonna say hope, because I'm not really bummed if he doesn't fight again, to be honest. Like he's done enough for this sport. And he's given me more than enough memories. He's my all-time favorite fighter. And I think the fact that he would be leaving out on top is another reason like I'm not really bummed out if he doesn't come back. Because the last time I saw him, he was holding a belt. And even though it was over another one of my favorite fighters, like it is what it is. It was a great moment. I feel like there's still a chance the Khabib fight could happen. I think it's a small chance because in the press conference, GSP basically said, I'm about to go on vacation somewhere warm, so don't call my phone. But I still feel like if there was a good enough offer that he would take it. But he didn't seem like he was really... Like, he wanted the deal done when he wanted it. Like, at the time, I guess it was on his mind.
Right.
But once it fell through, it was just kind of like, well, all right, I'm not really going to sweat this anymore. He has a lot of respect for Khabib. He said in the press conference he thinks Khabib is the best fighter right now, and that's why he wanted to fight him. But once it kind of fell through, he was like, oh, all right, it's time to go on vacation. I'm not really going to press this situation. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, I wasn't really bummed out. He's my all-time favorite fighter. I'm glad he went out on his own terms. The man had a dominant reign. Unlike he's in pretty rare space. Not a lot of people get to dominate for that long. He made a lot of incredible fighters look very average. Yeah, the dude was like almost like the prototype for like the perfect fighter.
Sure.
Like
right.
The man was incredible to watch, regardless of how you may feel about his fights, especially like towards like the latter half of his career. The dude was a consummate professional. Like, showed up every fight, didn't make excuses, wasn't out here missing weight, came in and just wrecked everybody and left. And I respect that.
Yeah. No, like, he is, like, one of the two best fighters of all time. Like I have him at Jones. Yeah, like you said, I respect that GSP kind of just like managed his career on his own terms. He left when he wanted to leave. He came back when he felt like he could. Uh, I like if this is the end, this is the end. Good for him. He's made a ton of money. He probably doesn't have to work another day in his life. Like I don't know how the movie thing was going for him. Like I remember he was in the first Avengers movie.
He's actually pretty
Or
good.
not the first Avengers movie. He was in the Captain America
Yeah, Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier movie. I don't know if he's
He had a
I don't
nice.
know if he's done anything since then. Let's see, George St. Pierre. Like
He had a nice little fight scene in there.
yeah, like I don't know what else he's doing, like to keep himself like busy. But yeah, whatever it is, I hope it works out well for him.
I would say the only, I guess, moment I would look back on his career, I really did want him to fight Damian Maia. I really did want to see that fight, like back when Maia was first dropped to 170. He was making his run.
Right.
That might be like the only moment I look back, like, man, I wish I could have saw that. Felt like that would have been awesome. But, well, the Anderson fight, but I think we all kind of knew that was never going to happen. It was just fun to talk about. But it was never going to really be a thing.
Oh, I forgot he was in the Kickboxer remake that nobody saw.
Yeah, I didn't watch that either.
Apparently it was.
But no, man, like, yeah, GSP, man, that he's my personal GOAT. There aren't really many people I could think to put at him. Like you said, maybe Jones, but yeah, the man was just extremely dominant and fought like multiple generations too. Like, you forget, like his first fight ever was against like Ivan Menjivar, I think. One of his first fights.
Who eventually dropped down the bantamweight.
Right. Like, he fought and lasted through multiple generations of fighters and still like maintained his dominance.
Like from freaking Matt Hughes all the way up to like Johnny Hendricks. It's like that's like 3 generations of fighters.
Yeah. And he, you know, he went through them all. So yeah, man, he gets nothing but respect from me. If this is the last hoorah for real, you know, I'm a lifelong fan. I have a ton of GSP moments to remember. I'll never forget that I was so angry that like when the Condit fight happened, I was actually at work and I was like a nervous wreck the entire fight. And my friend had to call me after every round. I had to sneak off during my shift. Like, my homeboy called me like, "Yo, he just got kicked." I'm like, "Oh no, what happened? What happened?" So I got to sneak off during my shift to like figure out how the fight's going because I can't watch it. I remember his fight back in the day with Thiago Alves. 'Cause Alves was a killer back then, and I was like, "Oh man, this Alves guy, man. Those are like my early days of getting into MMA." I was like, "Oh man, this Alves guy, he's pretty nasty." Nah, GSP gave him the work. As nasty as Alves was, beat up gave John Fish the business, avenged his Matt Hughes loss. That's another thing. I love that he avenged his 2 losses, so they don't make me feel so bad when I see the Matt Serra KO. I'm like, oh, he came back and he worked them.
Right.
But nah, man, GSP, man, he's awesome. So shout outs to him. But let's talk about this Max Holloway and Dustin Poirier matchup.
You know what this does?
There's so many just ways to look at this fight.
It guarantees we're gonna get another interim title fight this year.
Right.
Shouts to Jose Aldo and probably Alexander Volkanovski at UFC 237. How funny would it be if Aldo's last fight was for like, the UFC interim featherweight title?
And he wins.
What a mess. What a mess.
Yeah. Like, I saw the headline, Holloway Poirier, and under normal circumstances, I probably would have been really hyped. But, like, I saw this headline, and I was just kind of like, I guess I'm supposed to be. And don't get me wrong, this is probably going to be an amazing fight. And as much as I might complain about this matchup, I'm watching the card. I might even take off for this, because this card looks pretty awesome. But I just saw the headline and I was just kind of like, don't know. I don't know about this. I'm not angry at this, but I'm not really happy either. I'm confused a little bit because I mean, Max Holloway coming up to lightweight, I think we all figured it probably was gonna happen at some point. I didn't think it'd be this soon because I still think there are a couple of people at 45 I would like to see him fight, but it's just like, how do they continue to log jam a division where like there doesn't need to be confusion?
I understand the place the UFC's in. Like they need headliners. They need like they need headliners. They need people to headline pay-per-views. They got dates to make and everything like that. Khabib went and got himself suspended for 9 months, and he refuses to do anything to shorten his suspension, so he's not going to be back till September. Which leaves you with like like at the earliest, by the way. Who know? Like I don't know how long Ramadan is this year, so he doesn't do camp during Ramadan. So like that rules out like a summer return. Freaking Tony Ferguson turned down the fight. Like I'm sure the original plan was to do Dustin Poirier, Tony Ferg. So that's what's been rumored anyway. But Tony Ferguson turned it down because I'm assuming he's like, why the fuck am I going to fight for another interim title? Because the last time he didn't give me anything, and I had to go fight Anthony Pettis when I came back. So I'm like, I'm sure that him is just like, well, what's even the point? Which brings up the question, why did they put Ally Quinta in there? And I'm gonna assume it's because Ally Quinta was asking for too much money, because that was the rumor. Like a few days, like a day before the fight was announced or that it leaked that it was made. Dustin Poirier and Ally Quinta were tweeting about how they both wanted to be cut from the UFC.
Did you see when Poirier commented under Al's post? He's like, "You feel me, dog?" And Al was like, "No."
But yeah, it's like, okay, what happened those 24 hours? Like, I'm assuming, because from what I heard, Poirier and Ally Quinta both wanted more money to take the fight. I'm assuming Poirier got his wish and Al didn't, because the UFC doesn't like Ally Quinta. Which brings up, like, how did they settle on friggin' Max Holloway? And I guess it's because he's he's not a proven draw or anything, but he is a headliner, and it's a rematch from a fight, which I guess in their eyes is just like, game the numbers.
Thing is, like, you can't even pay attention to that first fight though. Like, both of these guys are completely, they're not even the same fighter anymore. Yeah. Like,
and Max was like 19 years old.
Yeah, he was literally like a little kid.
And he took the fight at like a week's notice, so.
Yeah. See, I feel like this fight is a result of what happens when you continually logjam a division and just make bad decisions repeatedly.
Right.
Like, if you would have given people their due title shots on time and on schedule, you wouldn't have this logjam at the top where, like, you have Poirier, who's been on this crazy run. You have Ferguson, who's been winning since forever. And now you have two guys who could both make legit claims to a title shot, but obviously you can't give it to them both at the same time. So now you just have all this confusion. Like, you could have avoided this way back when if you would have just kept the ball rolling. This is why things need to happen. I ain't gonna say on schedule. I get it. Like, life happens sometimes and fights just don't pan out, but this is the supposed reason you should have rankings and have like a chart to look like oh, okay, this guy's not ready, all right, let's go to the next one. Let's stop.
And part of it's not their fault. Like, if everything went according to plan, maybe not plan, but if everything happened the way it probably should have happened, this fight would be Ferguson Khabib.
Right.
But Khabib went and did something stupid, and now he's gone. He's also your champion. Maybe don't lean so much of your marketing into something that is so real to one side of the fight that they do something stupid like that. But beyond that, Yeah, the UFC could have made McGregor. They could have taken the belt from McGregor way quicker than they did. Um, they could have. I don't know. Like they could have not given McGregor the title shot when he came back, and could
Yeah,
have made it.
you
He
could
could have
have.
made it for Tony Khabib right out the gate.
Yeah, and that's kind of my main point. Like, if you just look at some of the lightweight title picture in the last couple of years, pretty much like since Conor was champ. If you trace it all back there and just kind of look at it, you can see where like the log jam was starting to take place. And I just felt like some of this could have been slightly alleviated if you just would have, if you would have switched a few things, tinkered a few things, did a few things that just made sense. You could have gotten out of this, but I mean, I guess probably from the UFC's eyes, though, this is probably still a win. You know, the champ versus champ is well, Holloway's the champ, but like these kind of fights just seem to be the thing now. You know,
Right.
so for them, I guess it's still a win. But you got Ferguson on the sideline who should not be on anybody's sideline. That man needs to be that man needs to be fighting at any time he is available. Um, This is like the top of this division is just way too talented to have these kinds of. This should be the last division that should have these kind of problems.
Right.
Like,
And again, we both love Max Holloway to death, and here he is skipping how many more fighters who have cut their teeth in his division to get a title fight.
do you think it's worse for the confusion if Holloway wins?
I mean, yeah, because what does the UFC do at featherweight? Like, do they strip him if he gets the interim title? Like, does Holloway want that? Like, does he go defend while he waits for Khabib to come back? Does he just go back down and just completely say, fuck it, I'm not going back up until, like, I get, until you sort out stuff up there and the UFC does Tony Ferguson, Khabib Nurmagomedov in the fall and the interim title just means nothing? I mean, it doesn't mean anything. We've already established that. Like, remember when Carlos Condit sat out a whole year after winning the interim title so he could fight GSP?
Yeah.
That would never happen now.
Nope. He'd sat out for 3 months. He'd have gotten a phone call. Listen, bro.
They would have just unceremoniously stripped him and made GSP versus freaking Nick Diaz right out the gate.
Yep. Yeah. This is like we should be celebrating. And like I said, I'm not taking away that this is gonna be an amazing fight. I have no doubt about that. But I'm just looking in the long run of like just potential confusion and just
someone's feelings are gonna get hurt.
Yeah. And it's like it's unavoidable at this point. I mean, I guess good for Poirier in a way, even though, like you said, we've established interim belts at this point don't really mean anything because it clearly doesn't guarantee you a title shot. We saw Tony not get his, and poor little Kobe. They act like he didn't even exist anymore. But I guess if Poirier wins, and I know he's been wanting a big fight, and albeit this isn't for like the title, but I guess it's the second best.
I mean, I think you still get like your pay-per-view points and your championship base pay.
Yeah, so I'm happy for him in that regards because him and Al seem pretty adamant, like, bro, we just kind of won out at this point. So I'm glad they were at least able to get him a big fight, but it just seems like this is going to result in a lot of chaos and disarray. But I guess at this point I shouldn't really be surprised because it's kind of how the UFC does things. So
yeah, like, and here's the thing: if the UFC had if this had been Khabib and they had to choose between Poirier and Tony Ferguson, that's a tougher choice than I think we're giving it credit for. Like Ferg's 11 fight win streak and everything. But they both lost to the same dude and Michael Johnson. So you think about it like that at lightweight. And that's Poirier's only loss at lightweight. Like he's beaten just like Fergs, he's beaten two other former champions, Eddie Alvarez and Anthony Pettis. So I would have got it in that regards, but I don't know. You feel for everybody involved except maybe Max, who lucked
Yeah, he just
who kind of just lucked into this?
yeah. Max was just in the right place at the right time, and coming off his performance, he's just winning at life right now. Like this is like a bonus,
You see, the
basically.
scary part for me is that with um, McGregor probably going to fight Cerrone sometime in like early summer, I can see the UFC saying, F it, you have to defend against McGregor if he beats Cerrone. And it's a rematch between like Poirier, McGregor, and or Holloway and McGregor, and that's how the UFC thinks they're gonna make like McGregor Khabib too.
Oh yeah, that's happening.
Like
Yeah.
that's obviously the plan, and Dana White's been vocal about wanting that fight to happen, even if there's like a fight in the interim. But like, I'm talking about like just sort of like straight away when Khabib is scheduled to come back. So
We'll see. There'll be a lot of confusion and chaos to come. But with that said, though, who you got? Who you got in this fight?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna stick with Max. I think I think Eddie Alvarez got to exploited a few things in Poirier that we haven't seen other fighters be able to do, particularly with the body shots. Like I really think he was hurting them there before getting knocked out. Gaethje too, to an extent. Like Gaethje was really taking it to him a little bit. Yeah, I think I'm gonna just go with Holloway.
Ugh. This is a hard one. God, because Poirier at 55 is a completely different animal.
Right.
And there's a part of me that thinks like the power he has at 55. Could he crack Max a couple good times?
Oh, he
And
absolutely could. That's the
yeah,
thing. Like,
yeah. This is a really hard fight to pick. And that's the one good thing about this fight, aside from all the chaos, just the matchup. If you just look at it strictly from a fight standpoint, yeah, this is really hard to pick. Um, ugh, yeah. I'm like reluctantly gonna say Poirier. I don't even know if I fully believe it. I'm gonna say Poirier. I'm gonna say it's gonna be a war. It's gonna be a lot of blood, a lot of people getting a lot of punches to be had. There's gonna be a lot of violence. But I'm gonna say Poirier's power somehow wins him this fight. Um, but I think Max is like the more skilled fighter though, if that makes sense. But I just think Poirier's power might be the difference. But we'll see. Either way, that's gonna be a really wild fight. But Lord, the chaos that is gonna ensue from whoever wins that fight, just the top of that division. God bless all you lightweights trying to get title shots. Lightweights on the come up. It's just, it is a mess. It is a mess. But yeah, that's it for news and notes for the week. So like I said, man, a lot of great fights coming up.
we
So,
even talk about Silva versus Cannonier.
oh man, yeah, we did.
I mean, like I don't have a whole bunch to say about it, but that seems like a fight where the UFC just wanted to make something happen in Brazil. Like,
Yeah, I think that was a silver gift.
look, I'm not sure it's a gift.
But yeah, I don't mean gift in terms of like this is gonna be like an easy fight he'll walk through, but
Like,
like they wanted to give him a fight and that's good
yeah,
competition.
like they were trying to sell out that 20,000 seat arena in Curitiba, but I think they ended up moving it to Rio because they just couldn't get the amount of people to they couldn't get the turnout they wanted, which is understandable when Brazilian MMA is really hurting right now.
Man, that's gonna be an interesting fight. I just hope, as always with every Anderson fight in the latter half of his career, just don't get knocked out. Don't get flatlined. But that's an interesting fight though. Cannonier at middleweight, the dude's a powerhouse. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm picking Anderson because I just pick Anderson. That's just what I do. But yeah, that's pretty much it for news and notes of the week. As far as fights, before we get to UFC Prague, there were a couple of other cards that happened this weekend. LFA had a card. I didn't even write it down. I think the middleweight, one of their titles got defended. I should have watched it, but I missed out. But go check out LFA. They always have good cards. Always people getting knocked out. Crazy highlights.
It was the middleweight title. Brandon Allen versus Moses Morieta.
Okay. I think Allen squashed him.
He won the decision.
Okay. Shout out to Allen. Bellator had a card inexplicably this weekend. I don't think anybody outside of Ireland really watched it.
Right.
But, Bellator 217, headlined by James Gallagher and Stephen Graham. I think Gallagher won. Yeah, he won via rear naked choke submission in the first round. So, shouts to him. Other names on the card, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know any other fights you guys may really care about on this card.
If you remember Paul Redman, former UFC vet, he was on the card. He won a decision over Charlie Leary. There was apparently how do you put this? A grudge match between Miles Price and Peter Queally that I want to say stems from something that happened in. Was this a rematch or something? Like I remember they had beef. I don't remember why. I remember reading about it and it was actually like kind of interesting. But it's not a rematch. But like Miles Price in the co-main event took a decision, split decision over Peter Queally. I don't know. The fight I most anticipated was the women's featherweight fight between Olga Rubin and Ayani Razafiarisen. I'm never gonna be able to say her name. I don't speak French. But Olga Rubin took a decision win. Probably gets her a step closer to fighting Julia Budd for the featherweight title. And here's a name I haven't seen in forever: Walter Gahadza. Back when Leon Edwards was still on the regional scene, it was like between him and this dude named Gahadza, who was fighting in like UCMMA, which is like the weird MMA league where they have it's mostly striking, but you're not allowed to strike on the ground, and like it's a really weird set of rules, like grappling you have to do like sprint grappling or else you get stood up right away. You're not allowed to throw strikes on the ground. It's really weird. But Gahadza was like one of the dudes that people were like hoping got to the UFC, and like he's never got there. He went 15-0 before he lost 3 in a row, and now he's fighting for Bama. But he gets on these Bellator prelims too, so. He took a knockout win over some German dude named Ruben Crawford.
There you go. So, I'm pretty sure this was on DAZN.
It's on DAZN and it's on the Bellator app.
There you go. So if you want to go watch that, go check that out. That was Bellator 217.
Because Bellator has not had one good event this year, and I guess the Fedor Bader card was. I'm
not gonna say they haven't had a good event, but like they have not been putting their best foot forward. Yeah, their last couple events have kind of felt.
Yeah, and like the next one's gonna be headlined by Emmanuel Sanchez and Ashley Grimshaw. Like, it's not inspiring.
It's not a good stretch. Yeah, it's not a good stretch.
That card's in like a month. It has one main card fight booked.
Lord.
But like 219, they're gonna pick it up. Koreshkov, Larkin. Was another fight they announced for that card. Nah, I guess that's it. But that's the best fight they put on so far this year, on paper anyway.
Yeah, they got some work.
And then McDonald Fitch, I guess. But Ilima McFarland's gonna be on that card fighting Veta Arteaga. And then after that, they got the Chandler Pitbull in May. So
There you go.
there we go. That's the card.
Yeah.
Did we talk about how they rebooked Pat Curry versus AJ McKee Jr.?
Oh no, I forgot
Yeah,
about that.
so they rebooked that fight for that card. I assume that means whoever wins that fight is going to fight Patricio Pitbull next. If he wins I don't know what they're gonna do if he wins the title, if he beats Chandler. Like they're gonna run it back, so I don't know what that means for the featherweight tournament.
Lord, more log jams.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Maybe Coker has a master plan. We'll
But
see. But yeah,
I'm sorry to keep cutting you off, but like Douglas Lima, Michael Page is also booked for that card. So that's a good card. That's a good Bellator card.
we're just gonna have to wait a couple months.
Yeah, it takes like half the year to get your booking in order.
Yeah, you got to suffer through the bad ones to get the one that finally blows your mind. But no, I'm glad McKee and Curran got rebooked. I hope Curran's health is good. I know he's been injured and
He fights
whatnot,
like he's injured.
Yeah, he's not the same guy, man, but still a fan. So looking forward to that fight. Also, shout outs to One Championship. They had a card this weekend called The Greatness. This was one of the first cards that was on the Bleacher Report app, and will broadcast on TNT at 4:30 in the morning on Wednesday. So if you're up at 4:30, you got TNT and you don't got nothing else to do with your
Mind
time.
you, it's only an hour long, so they're only gonna get like 2 or 3 fights in.
Yeah. So
So
good
if you're waiting around to see Ariel Sexton fight Amir Khan, that's the time to do it.
That's for you.
But I've heard good things about Nong Stamp. Is that how you pronounce her name?
I have not. Oh yeah. I don't think have I seen her fight. I don't know. I always get like the Thai fighters like I see them, and then I don't remember them till I see like a highlight, but I don't like remember them by name. So I can't remember if I've seen her before. But I would recommend. I mean, if you get a chance to watch this fight, in whatever way you can, legally or alternative methods, I would tell you to do so. From the little bit I got to see of it, it was actually a pretty good card. Stamp Fairtex won. I don't know if she won or defended, but she is now the inaugural Muay Thai Atomweight Championship. She won a decision over Janet Todd. They also on this card, they continue the other side of the bracket for their lightweight tournament. So Ariel Sexton defeated Amir Khan via rear naked choke. That was actually a really awesome fight. Amir Khan should have killed Sexton like 3 times in that fight. And Sexton like somehow survived and got through and got the choke in the last round because he was definitely catching some hands in that fight. But that was an awesome fight. Definitely go back and watch that. Also on the lightweight bracket, Saigid Gusian Arslaniv. God, that's a lot. I probably said that all wrong. Well, he knocked out Ev Ting in like 30 seconds. Well, 25 seconds. Yeah, he killed him. So, like I said, man, this lightweight tournament, for one, on the low has been really fire. And this is not going to be a cakewalk for Alvarez. Like, there are some really good fighters in this tournament. So Alvarez, I think, is going to have his hands full. But shout outs to Saigid. That was a nice... He made really quick work of Ev Ting. Other notable names on the card, Nikki Holskin defeated Mustafa Flaida via decision. I saw a couple highlights. He threw a couple tech and combos. Looked like a good time. So go watch that. And Region Ursel beat up on Anthony Njokuani. KO'd him in the second round. And also shout outs to Ayaka Miura, who landed a scarf choke on Laura Berlin, if I'm saying that right.
Hey, scarf
That was pretty. Yeah, that was pretty cool. So yeah, go back and watch these one cards. Like I don't know how they're moving forward. If none of them are gonna be on the one app, I don't know if moving forward this is the start of like the Bleacher Report / TNT. I'm not really sure how all this is working out.
It's added to their library.
Yeah. So go back and catch the cards if you can. Like one's cards, like I said, they're always pretty good. You get a nice mix of MMA, kickboxing, and Muay Thai. I feel like it's more probably geared toward a hardcore fan. But I mean, if you just want to see some violence, just hey man, you get it in all forms. So go watch a one card. So shout out to One Championship, Call to Greatness. Alrighty, that brings us to the main event of this podcast, UFC Prague, which went down nice and early in the Czech Republic. Fortunately, while I was at work, so when I only got a chance, the only fights I caught in real time, I think. Yeah, I got home just in time for the co-main event and the main event. I missed everything else in real time. Had to go back and rewatch. But anywho, UFC Prague was headlined by Thiago Santos and Jan Blachowicz. Yeah, we'll just jump right into it.
So
Very.
you should probably start by saying how the fight ended, or how what was the result. So Thiago Santos.
Oh
yeah. He starched Jan Blachowicz in the third round. Landed a really nice what was it, like uppercut hook combination as, what was it, 2-3? I don't remember. As Blachowicz uncharacteristically charged forward like he was Thiago Santos.
Not a good
yeah.
not a good game plan.
So guys, if you're coming forward, like if you're moving forward, the person you are fighting is moving away from you, like backstepping, do not throw like an uppercut, because that's not what that punch is for. Because the last punch Blachowicz threw before getting countered was just an ugly uppercut that completely whiffed, and Santos made him pay.
I was more impressed that Santos did this while moving backwards.
Oh yeah, no, dude.
He didn't even have his feet really fully planted. Like, he was stepping back and just kind of like, all right, I got you. And they landed flush, too. Yeah, he caught Jan right on the chin. And Jan dropped and then proceeded to eat 1,000 hammer fists.
Yeah, like, who was that? Herb Dean? Gave him every opportunity to stand up.
Yeah, I think he gave him too much.
Yeah, probably.
He gave him too much. Like, I get it. Main event, you don't want to be that guy who stops the fight too early. But after about 5 hammer fists, I think we could have, like, yeah, you're out of here. But hey, man, he gave Jan every chance he could, and it did not matter. He ate 1,000 hammer fists, and he died.
Damn, his head was really not moving. Those the uppercut, those a hook, those another left hand, and his head was just in the same spot all 3 times.
Yeah, and he got rocked.
Yeah, a hook with each hand. Good God.
I was impressed with Santos. This was a very measured fight. Like, this wasn't Santos just coming out and I'm just gonna wing punches until one of us can't move anymore.
That had me scared. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, see, the pace of this fight you would think would have favored Jan a lot more. Like, we're moving slower. I can kind of see everything. I can pick my shots more because you're not in my face 24/7. But no, Santos did a good job. He kept throwing that oblique kick to the knee. He was picking his shots pretty well. They both had pretty decent moments. Like, I felt like this fight was just tense because when you saw how measured it was, you were just waiting like, all right, who's gonna land the big one? Because they're both just kind of like, Santos is landing the teep kicks. He'll catch him with a 1-2 or like a left hand. Jan caught him with like a couple body kicks to like a left hand. But nobody was really getting like starched early. They were both landing like decent shots, but you were just waiting to see like, all right, who's gonna land the big one? And you would think the fight moving this slow that Jan would be able to, because Jan was the one actually I felt like pushing the pressure more, but Santos just did a good job of, that oblique kick definitely worked a lot for him. He was out of like brawling range, so he wasn't taking any crazy shots.
Thank you.
Santos did worry me though, because there were moments where like his explosion and just reaction time is really quick, and he'll just let go one and just throw all of his body weight into it. Like, there was one point where he threw a left hand and like his whole body almost fell forward.
This performance reminded me of a little bit like early middleweight run Yoel Romero. where like Yoel would just like there were just times you forgot how quick Romero really is because he was just like
Right.
so like laid back and he was letting the other guy do like their thing. Like nowadays, he's much more of a pressure fighter. He'll put you on the fence. Like he won't throw much, but he'll put you on the fence. He'll make reads and stuff. But like before, it was just like him, like okay, waiting, and then in the third round, like he finally decides what he's going to do, and then he knocks you out. And
Right.
like that's what it felt like with Santos. Like he was waiting for Blachowicz to overcommit on something so that he could take him out.
And it's kind of weird because there were a couple of strikes that Santos overcommitted on and never really had to pay for it. And then the time that Jan explodes and does something a little reckless, he gets completely put out.
Yeah, like I had posted this before the fight, but like I think Blachowicz is one of those like light heavyweights that's like actually good. Like for that finishing sequence notwithstanding, like Blachowicz has a good baseline of skills that would make him a solid fighter in almost any division. Like maybe he's not a borderline top five guy at middleweight or welterweight or even heavyweight, but like he would have a career. Like I don't know if like a guy like OSP for instance would even be like a top 20 dude if he was a middleweight. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, like Blahovic, like you see the building blocks of like a dude who's actually good, and like Santos just kind of freaking ran through. Like I can't even say he ran through him, but like the he got Blahovic got the fight he wanted, and he still couldn't win it.
Yeah. I like of all the you would think in this matchup, if you were to guess who was gonna make the first mistake, I think you would have thought Santos.
Yeah,
Like Jan would have just kept his composure the entire time and just kind of did his
right.
thing, but he was the one who had the careless moment.
Like I
And
think this goes back. Like Blahovic is just not that great of an athlete, which I mean, who really is a 205? But like like Santos is like a ridiculous athlete. So I think like him being able to counter Blachowicz on his mistakes makes more sense than Blachowicz being able to counter Santos because Blachowicz really isn't like a countering type. Like he'll make you pay when you make a mistake, like he did to Devin Clark. But those tend to happen like grappling exchanges. Like his whole thing tends to be like I'm going to outsmart you and out like maneuver you with technique, like he did to Jimmy Manuwa in their rematch. But he just was not able to get like a solid beat on what Santos was doing. And I think a part of that was because Santos was just so atypical. Like this was not the decided that he was going to just throw everything at Jimmy Manuwa and see if it worked. This kind of makes me wonder if Santos was telling the truth when he said he decided like 5 minutes before the fight he was just going to brawl with Jimmy. Like if this wasn't the original game plan.
I think this is good though if you're a Santos fan because this shows that I'm not just this super brawler. Like I can fight smart when I want to. You
Right.
know. Apparently there's a switch. Like I can calm down and be methodical and not do anything too crazy outside of myself and
Right.
still
I can wait for my
get a win.
opportunities if I need to.
Yeah, because I mean we've seen this before. Like we've all seen, and Santos ain't a prospect. He's been fighting for a while, and actually he's like, is he 30? How old is he? He's like mid-30s.
I think he's like 30.
Point being, he's not a youngin. But like we've seen before, the youngin comes in, he knocks everybody out, and he thinks that that's gonna get him like to the top. Until he runs into that guy that he tries to knock out, and they don't
Right.
go away, and then he has no other recourse. So, and it's good to see that Santos adjusted to the game plan without. It wasn't a forced thing. It wasn't like, oh snap, my knockout didn't work. I gotta try something else. Like he came into this fight ahead of time, like, all right, let me switch this up real quick, so I don't have to have that moment where this guy's beating me and I don't you know, I try to switch up, but it's too little, too late. Like he already had this plan that seemed like ahead of
Right.
time. So I thought that was cool.
Who do you think Dave Branch is
I
with
mean-
himself right now?
Shouts to the GOAT. See, Dave, you were at 205, man.
You would have
told
been
you.
fought for a title already. Like
Yeah, you'd have been up there. But
freaking
another story for
Chris
another day.
Weidman,
But
Luke Rockhold,
yeah,
out
all
here
you guys.
getting triple freaking neck surgeries, and they could have been fighting for titles.
Yeah. But all above all for Santos, like smart performance, good performance, and then it still ended with the violence that we wanted. And I mean, I got to think that after the Anthony Smith fight, I think you got your next.
I mean, yeah, like it lines up perfectly unless Smith does the damn thing on Saturday. And somehow finds a way to beat Jones, and they have to run that rematch back. Like I don't see. Like Santos is the obvious next opponent. Jones.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm picking Santos. I'm picking Santos because I believe in the hammer.
Yeah, you have to.
I mean, I want him to win. I want Santos to be a UFC champion.
And I've said this, man. We've seen a lot of fighters try to figure out Jones. We've seen a lot of different styles, a lot of different kind of fighters. Jones has never just fought a wild guy, like like a guy who just might come in and just like, you know what, I'm just gonna try to kill you, like
a guy who might fake a teep to the knee, throw a spinning back kick and a spinning like a capoeira style jump spinning spinning kick afterwards, like.
Right, like that might just be the way to beat Jones, because apparently trying to be methodical and slow the fight down, that's not the move, because he's just
you just need to spam the attack button like this was like Street Fighter or something, and hope something works.
Keep pressing square. just keep pressing square. Throw a triangle in there every once in a while. But nah, man, great on Santos, man. Violent finish, but a smart fight. And him just getting a title shot is just I'm pretty sure that's gonna happen, but that's
like dude is legitimately one of the best knockouts in the history of the UFC. He's now tied with Anthony Rumble Johnson for second most knockouts in UFC history, behind only Vitor Belfort. Mind you, he has not been in the UFC nearly as long as any of those guys have been.
Right.
He got to the UFC in 20. He was in 2013, but his first knockout wasn't until 2014. So he's been in the UFC for like a little over 4 years.
And he just killed everybody. God love him, man. You know what? Quick thought before we move on. It's like, how good is Gegard? He ran through him. I forgot about that fight until like it just randomly popped in. Like he ran through Santos, man.
Yeah, and now he's fighting now he has to fight Rafael Lovato Jr.
Yeah. Shout out to Santos though, man. The man is just winning. More proof. You middleweighters, man. If middleweight ain't working out,
why cut the extra weight?
Yeah, just move on up, man.
All the scary people are gone.
Right. You get to go and beat up old guys. And then, eventually when you get to the top, you'll fight some talented guys. But, like, you just go beat up. It's fun. Just punch old guys. That's all you got to do.
Santos is 35.
Is he a tough dad?
He's at that age. I mean, he's the guy who famously, after freaking almost... Was it Andrews? Was it after he almost killed Eric Anders? That he's like, I love beating people up. I love you, son. I can't wait to see you when I come home. Like that's the type of shit that Santos is on.
Maybe he is a tough dad.
He is the toughest of dads. Well, maybe not the toughest dad, but he is the scariest dad.
Yeah.
He's like, you don't want his son to go like, my dad can beat up your dad, because he would actually do it.
Yeah, he can do it. Yeah, you don't want.
It's not that he could do it; it's that he would do it.
Right.
Just because he can.
And now you gotta look at your dad funny because Santos just KO'd him.
Now you don't have a dad.
Right. Yeah, your dad's not surviving one of those.
Santos is your dad.
Yeah. Right. Now your mom has a new husband. It's a whole situation now. Yeah, he's definitely taking over the grill. Yeah, that's over with. But shout out to Santos, man. That was an awesome fight, awesome performance. Always happy to see him get a win. Moving on to the co-main event. Another fight I was happy. I feel like I'm the only person who really likes Stefan Struve. I just root for tall people. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I've always been a Struve fan. But co-main event, Stefan Struve versus Marcos Rogerio de Lima. The start of this fight had me a little worried. Like, the fight starts. Marcos closes distance in 2 seconds and catches Struve with a right hand and drops him. I'm like, oh boy, here we go again. Not much else happened in that first round. Marcos got top control. Tried some ground and pound. Not really too eventful of a first round. Second round it almost looked the same. Marcos managed to close distance again. I'm like, oh my God, here we go again. They clinch on the cage. Struve, when his 6'11" height, catches Rogerio with a nice little sweep, gets him down. Having Stefan Struve hover over you cannot be a fun thing. When he took Lima down and just stepped over his guard like he was like nothing. I don't want a 6'11" guy standing over me. But yeah, he got over De Lima's guard, kept going for an arm triangle, and at first he was just trying to pry his leg through to get the position. They had some kind of scramble. He got out, got half guard, and then just because Struve is just ridiculously tall, he just kind of leaned into the triangle and just I saw Lima's head turning purple. I was like, oh, he's got that. It's over. So Struve went through some adversity and got a choke in the second round. Then afterwards, little heartfelt moment. He said he's not sure if this is his last fight, but it could be. He's had the whole heart situation. And he said it seemed like this would be a good fight to end the note on. He's not sure, though. I guess, got to reassess and all that. But he gave a nice little tearjerker speech. But nah, good win for him. I feel like all of Struve wins, he can never have an easy win. It's not a Struve win if he doesn't have to go through some kind of trouble to ultimately get the W.
Yeah. Struve is a second round fighter. I don't have a lot to say about this. I've been one of the people who's been saying watching Stefan Struve fight for these past 5 years. It's been really uncomfortable knowing that the dude had open heart surgery to replace one of his heart valves, and he came back and he passed out from the anxiety of having to fight again. I'm happy he didn't take any damage in this fight, really, except for that first. Well, I can't even say that because he said after the fight he got flash KO'd in the first round. So I guess I'm if this is the end, I'm happy because he's going to retire in relatively good health. He said the heart is doing fine. He's still a young dude. He is only 31 years old.
It just seems like he's been fighting for so long.
Been in the UFC since he was 21?
Yeah, Struve has been around the block for a while.
He got to the UFC in 2009, so yeah, 21 years old. Way younger than any heavyweight should be signed to the UFC.
Yeah, he's been there.
So I hope for the best for him. Life after fighting is not easy, especially when you are 7 feet tall.
Yeah, it's what do you even
Like you can't like you go get a desk job and you're standing over your cubicle when you're sitting.
Right. So it's like, yeah, I don't know what he does afterwards. But yeah, definitely best of luck to him. Um, I've just always been a Struve fan. He's had some wild comeback fights that have been entertaining to watch, and he's one of the few people who beat Stipe.
Right.
Yeah, I remember watching that fight. I did not believe he was gonna pull that out, and he did. But no, yes, I enjoy watching Struve fight. I hope he like I said, I hope post fight life treats him well. At only barely over 30, he's got plenty of life to still live, and hopefully his health stays good. So shout out to Struve, man. If that's the last hoorah, I think that fight ended in very Struve-like fashion. So definitely congrats to him, man, and best of luck in anything else he does. So those are the main event and co-main event. Moving on to the rest of the card. Next fight. Oh, I'm gonna butcher this name. Probably not Michal or Michael. I don't know if Mikhail Olex Jusic. Probably butchered that. I'm sorry. Versus John Vellante. My first thought watching this fight was, boy, does McCall look like a 185er.
Yeah, you can tell because every time Vellante hit him, he completely just was shook.
Yeah, like you look at their body compositions, and like Vellante was just so much, way more body mass, just looked so much more thicker. And McCall's just, yeah, like you said, when he got hit, he definitely felt it. But McCall definitely had the speed advantage. The man was on his bunnies the entire time, bouncing around, getting in and out, picking shots. I guess considering he had this size disadvantage, he fought a smart fight. He used what was to his advantage. I'm faster than you. You probably hit way harder, but if I can get in and out and pick my spots, that's my path to victory. And that's kind of just what he did. He bounced around for a little bit. He picked the shots. He actually caught John with a nice body shot earlier, and then caught him with another one. I think it was like a left hook to the body.
It was like right, like so. Like, I'm trying to remember the exact spot he hit him in.
It was like lower. I think he threw the left, so it would have caught. It was like lower right liver-ish.
Like but like the spot, it was like around the side of his it was like right around the side of his rib cage. Like the placement was gorgeous.
Yeah, and Vellante had like we all seen it with body shots where it's just kind of like that split, that 2-second delay, and then they really feel it, and then he just dropped. Like, he didn't even try to fight back. He just dropped, and McCall followed up with a ground and pound, but probably didn't even need it because that body shot just took him out. I mean, great performance from McCall. Like, you go in there, you fight a guy who's way bigger than you. He managed to put him down, but I definitely would say, if you can make 185, go fight at 185, because that's not that size disadvantage. You're not going to be able to pull that off against everybody.
I mean, it's light heavyweight.
He might, but
why take the damage?
Yeah, because I think whenever you get knocked out, it's going to be bad. Like, cause we make fun of the old guys, the tough dads, but they can still hit hard. I just imagine fighting a dude like OSP, who, like, as awkward as he is, can still hit like stupid hard. But no, I mean, good performance on him. Getting that W. Has he been in the UFC? I feel like I don't really.
He fought Khalil Rountree.
Okay. Oh, he got knocked out.
I actually know he went to look at the decision and it got overturned for some reason. I don't remember why. I'm assuming one of them was on drugs. But let me pull up the no contest. Unanimous decision after 3 rounds, blah, blah, blah. It's not giving me... Like, you hear it went to decision and you think Khalil Roundtree obviously lost. But I don't remember, like, the circumstances. It just says it ends in a no contest. Like, it's going to be super obvious when I find it. Okay, he did win over... Okay. Oleg, oh my god. Oleg. That's his name now. Oleg won the fight by decision over Roundtree, but it got overturned because he tested positive for a failed drug test. During a failed drug test. So.
Well, either way, good performance on him. He put Vellante down, but definitely go to middleweight, bro, because the tough dads are still heavy. They can still throw some leather, and you might not be able to catch everybody with that body shot. Could get nasty. But either way, good on him. Moving on to women's flyweight, we had Liz Carmouche versus Lucy Pudilova. Don't remember a ton of this fight other than there was a lot of grappling. Liz just was... Actually, you know what I'll say? They were going off for Pudilova, man. You would have thought she was like a 3-time world champion. Like
Czechoslovakia. Not Czechoslovakia, the Czech Republic.
Boy, they were really hyped for her. I mean, she tried to keep it on the feet, but Liz was able to work just a lot of her grappling in. Wasn't really a ton of damage really being dealt.
I feel like Pudilova would be a good 5-round fighter, because whenever it gets to like the end of the 3rd round, she is just going hard as fuck, trying to like murder the other girl. You remember what she did to Lena Landsberg?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's almost what she did to Liz Carmouche in the end of the 3rd round, where she's on top of her just throwing these like gorilla style ground and pound hammer fist.
It's just the last ditch effort. You gotta empty the tank. But yeah, Carmouche just controlled pretty much most of the fight. She didn't really dish out a ton of damage. I think it was just she just controlled the fight more. Like
that's basically what it was. This is Liz Carmouche performance. Like, I guess all the exciting stuff was. Well, she did go for the heel hook, but most of it was Pudilova just what you call it. Most of it was just Pudilova trying to get guillotines in positions where she had no business trying to get guillotines, and then trying to fight off her back.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Not a ton to really write home about that fight, but win is a win. Solid performance.
Now what? 3-0 at 2-0, 3-0, or 2-1 at flyweight? 2-1 at flyweight, beating Jennifer Maia and now Lucy Pudilova.
Yeah,
Gosh, you lost Alexis Davis.
Flyweight continues to fill out, so congrats to Carmouche on a solid win. Moving on to a fight that I was really hyped to see. Pretty sure a lot of us were. Petr Yan versus John Dodson. Dodson comes in with the fro. Didn't really help him in this fight, though.
I feel so bad for like the hairline, man.
Oh yes, it's back. It's
on top of his head.
Yeah, the hairline is definitely it's in a LeBron state of mind. It's pushed back a good 3-4 inches. I don't know.
As a bald man, I feel for him.
Nah, man. Jan is something else, man. Like a lot of people can't even really catch Dodson. Like it's hard sometimes even putting hands on him because he's just so small and so fast and mobile that he can just kind of get around people. And boy, Jan put an end to all, like the pressure he was able to put on Dodson just from the beginning to the very end of the fight, just he was constantly in Dotson's face, walking him down to the cage, catching him with combinations. I can't think of many times I've seen Dotson take this many hits. And what was even wilder was in the second round where Jan had Dotson backed against the cage. I think he caught him with a right. Dotson countered him and actually knocked him down. And it's like, oh snap, we got to fight here. No, Dotson has his little moment, but when Jan gets back up, it's almost like that moment never happened.
Don't do a 10-9 round for Jan.
Right, Jan went right back to getting in his face and just continued to pummel this man. Like he was catching him with some hard shots against the cage, and Dotson just could never get comfortable. He's complaining to the ref about, oh, he's pulling my hair. And he's also punching your face, and you need to do something about that, buddy.
At that point, you know he's just not in the fight anymore.
Yeah. When you start looking to the ref for your outs, yeah, that's not a good sign. Because, yeah, Jan really put it on Dotson. I can't think of many times I've seen Dotson.
This is the best, since the second DJ fight, this is the best anybody's ever looked against Dotson.
Yeah. He put all kinds of hands on Dotson.
I get big Volkanovski Mendez vibes from this fight, man. Just relentless pressure.
Yeah.
And friggin' such versatility too, because it wasn't just with the hands; he was throwing elbows. Anytime they were getting close enough, he was hitting him with knees, body kicks. It's just there was no space. You could see at the start of the third round, Dotson's pacing his court. It's just there's no space. You could just see it being just the fight being drained from his face.
And then even when Dotson knocked him down, and he had that moment when they were on the ground, Jan got back up. He was able to sweep and get right back to his feet. No, we're not having any of that. And that's a scary guy to deal with. That's a guy who knows how good he is, and he's just trying to just end you. And it's so skillful. It's just I mean, yeah, Dotson's definitely his biggest win, but maybe I'm jumping the gun, but whatever. I'll stick my neck out there. I think Jan's elite, man. My eye test is telling me that Jan is elite.
Oh, absolutely. Dude's only been fighting for 4 years? It's a fight in 2013, but I think it was just an off fight he took because he wanted the money.
Yeah, this guy's elite, man. He's creme de la creme of this division. I don't know if he has he's probably ranked though.
He was ranked 14, and now he beat Dotson, who was ranked 9th, I think, 8th or 9th.
Yeah, he's a top 10 fighter, easily. Easily a top 10 fighter.
Yeah. No. I need them to inject Jan versus Lineker.
Yeah.
directly into my brain.
Yeah. That's the violence that we need. Because Jan don't back down, and we all know how Lineker gets down. Yeah, that's just a fight that needs to happen.
Right. I'm actually worried for one of them because I feel like that's the fight that's going to break one of their chins. For good.
Yeah, somebody's going out. Somebody's probably not leaving that fight alive. I feel like Jan is doing everything that I wanted Duke and Wall to do. Jan came to the UFC and just performance after performance, oh my God, this guy's amazing. Right. And Duke and Wall just kind of
yeah, he's not put it together in the same way Jan has.
Yeah, Jan is just he's figured this out real quick. And yeah, he's really well rounded. You see a lot of great with the striking, but grappling's on point too. Just don't really see it as often. But yeah, this guy's gonna be fighting for a title at some point. I'm pretty sure.
If they ever work out what they're doing with the family title, yeah.
Nah, yeah, that's enough.
Like this is why I pegged him to be breakout player of the year this year, because he's going to tear through a lot of these guys. Like first up, Dotson. When is the Lineker Sanhagen fight? That's in like April, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want Jan to be on the what you call it for that long, so I said just get him back out there. Like,
I think what's kind of scary about Jan is that like Lineker has a chance just because his power is so crazy. But Jan almost looks like one of those guys that like if you can't match his pressure, and if you can't like knock him out, well, your path to victory is kind of
how do you earn respect on him?
Yeah, because he don't care. Like, he does not care at all. But he's almost one of those guys like you have to like, unless you got a crazy elite like wrestling or like jiu-jitsu game and you can get him down and good luck on that. Or you just got some kind of like crazy power in your hands and you can catch him with one. Yeah, your path to victory against Jan, man, that's a puzzle to be solved because, like you said, like if you can't gain his respect, good luck. You're drowning out there. Like you are drowning out there.
Yeah, and like a guy like Dotson, or not Dotson, Lineker, was obviously not as technically polished as Jan, but who is saying, I'm going to come forward and pressure and hit you with like a 5-piece combination, and there's nothing you can do to stop me. Like there are ways to beat him, in part because Lineker's not very quick. He's good at cutting people off. Like he's not great. He's not particularly amazing at it, but he's good enough to the point where like he can land something on you as you try to escape, and that builds up over the course of a 3 to 5 round fight. Like Jan, there was no like Dotson rarely ever got away from Jan in ways that Dotson was able to get away from Lineker in. You feel me? Like Jan is not only is he good at cutting people off, he's quick with his feet, and that's just scary. Like
I'll say, and if he fights Lineker, like I know we're all imagining like just them throwing hands at each other. It's not like Jan can't grapple.
Right.
It's not like Jan can't catch you with a 1-2 and I'm just gonna move in and take you down because we saw what TJ did to Lineker, how he was kind of able to just really mix the striking and the grappling together.
Like
yeah, Jan could probably do that.
Yeah,
too.
like Douglas Silva de Andrade got his life ruined on the ground when Jan got on top of him and just kept throwing elbows.
So, yeah, this guy, man, he's
the man is the goods.
Yeah, he's legit. He is everything I wanted Duke and Wah and Almeida. he did everything I wanted them to do. But nah, man, yeah, Jan is something else, man. That guy is. Look out, man. He's coming. He's gunning for who, and they said in commentary like he's not looking at all these other guys. The only guys he care about are Maurice, Cruz, TJ, and I forgot there was like one other name he mentioned. But yeah,
TJ, Maurice, and Cruz.
Yeah, he's gunning for the elite basically. He's not worried about the rest.
Like you like that type of confidence, man. Like it's not like bravado. It's like I'm here because I'm great and I want to beat everybody in front of me who is great, and that is what you want to see.
I mean, he fights like it, so who am I to say otherwise? But nah, man. If there's one fight you go back and rewatch other than the main event, definitely go watch Jan, man. This guy is. He's something special. But that was that fight. Jan beat Dotson via unanimous decision. And the last fight on the main card, Magomed Ankalaev versus Klidson Abreu.
I don't remember much of this fight. like after Abreu gets his nose
Shifted.
turned into like a right angle.
Yeah, his nose, uh, like that one GIF where the lady's looking at all the math symbols. That's what his nose, his nose was some of those math symbols. It shaped into some other. It completely shifted to another shape that noses should not be doing.
Yeah,
Yeah, he caught Abreu with he caught him a couple
that
times. Like
uppercut as Abreu was trying to close the distance.
yeah, he caught him with that a couple of times, and he completely just shifted Abreu's nose. I remember thinking during this fight that like Ankleev had a solid performance, but I almost felt like he could have
Oh
did
yeah,
more.
like by the end of it, he seems like he was hardly tired.
Yeah, because he was like clearly winning the fight, and Abreu was he was trying his hardest. He was trying to close distance, trying to work the grappling, and then like even the few times he got Ankleev down, he couldn't really do much. Um, but Ankleev to me seemed like he kind of like he got those uppercuts in, and he just kind of coasted.
Yeah,
And I felt like he could have put it on Abreu a little more. Um, but I don't know. You shift the guy's nose. I guess what else you need to do? Maybe he didn't want to kill the man. Um, but yeah, Uncle Lee pretty much cruised to a unanimous decision.
maybe it's the jujitsu thing. Like, okay, this guy's really good at jujitsu, and my only loss came at the last second of a fight where I put myself in a triangle. So like, why risk it all? You know?
Yeah, and I get it. I get it. It was solid performance nonetheless. Didn't realize it was that catch weight. It was weight.
Abreu.
Okay. I didn't want to say Abreu and body shame because I was going to say judging by how they both looked, I would guess Abreu was the one who missed weight.
Oh, fair. He took the fight on
But
like 12. Like, well, no, he had a month's notice. I'm thinking of the wrong fight. Yeah, no, like Abreu, like I mean, it's pretty obvious. Like he could cut more. Between the two, he was the one who could stand to cut more weight.
yeah, but solid win from Ankleev. Like I said, not much to write home about in this fight other than Abreu getting his nose shifted to the other side. So that was the main card. Pretty good main card. 3 decisions and then 3 finishes. So well balanced, I guess you could say. But great performances from Jan. Obviously, great performance from Santos. Good comeback win from Struve. So pretty decent main card. Go back if you have ESPN Plus. You can go back and watch these cards on the site. They have all of them up. So go back and watch their crystal clear stream. But moving on to the prelims, which were on ESPN2. Got Dwight Grant versus Carlo Pedersoli Jr. I like Pedersoli, but boy, oh boy, did he catch one for the ages. Actually, you know what? First thing I noticed about this fight on a non-like fight-related note, like Dwight Grant has that old man face. Like Dwight Grant looked like he was transplanted from like the 1950s, and he has like that old man hairline. He is like 35 though, I think. Maybe that's it.
Pedersoli?
I don't know. Nah,
Oh,
Grant.
yeah. How old is Grant?
I feel like he's like 30 something. He's like mid 30s.
Damn, I thought he was like a young bro. No, he's 34. Good God.
Yeah, he's got the old. He has the old man aesthetic. He's got the old man hairline. He has that old man face. He looks like he's been around the block a couple times. But pretty entertaining fight.
See, I don't remember much before Pedersoli got smolted.
It was really weird because if you look at how the fight played out, like Pedersoli looked to be like the more fluid, more loose. Grant to me, I don't know, he moves kind of awkward to me, or like his I don't know, there was something weird about just the way his strikes were thrown. Like he seemed kind of loopy, kind of slow. I don't know, it just seemed like something was off about his striking. And Pedersoli was out there kind of having fun. But after, a decent scrap, and to be honest, like there wasn't much to remember before the KO because it's not like anybody was landing anything really crazy. But yeah, the KO, Pedersoli was going for a head kick, and at the same time, Dwight Grant launches a right hand, and Pedersoli is like in motion of the head kick and gets cracked with the right hand. His mouthpiece does like a straight nosedive. No, I can't even say that. It got slingshotted out of his mouth and just flew to the other side of the cage. He face plants in head kick motion and then eats ground and pound and literally gets stopped with 1 second left in the round. And I can't complain about the stoppage because he was not responding. Like, he ate all of those ground and pound strikes pretty fresh, and I'm not gonna complain about this stoppage. He was out.
Yeah, no, he was done. That's why you don't throw naked freaking kicks, especially when you're in range like that. Because that was just a textbook high head kick counter. The only thing I remember about Dwight Grant is his fight with Zach Otto was so blah that we refused to talk about it.
And I mean, to be honest, he didn't have many moments in the round.
Prior.
Before this, so this could have easily been another one of those fights where it could have been kind of bleh on his end, but you know, he managed to capitalize on the moment. So, but hey, man, it's the fight game. You know, it ain't over till it's over, and boy was this one over. So guess, you know, shout out to Dwight Grant. You're on a highlight. That's a good highlight to have. That's a pretty nasty KO. Can't think of many times I've seen a mouthpiece fly that far. So good on him. So he won by TKO in the first round with only 1 second left to go. Moving down the card, we got Chris Fishgold versus Daniel Tamor. Who did Fishgold come in at late notice to fight last time?
Oh God, what's his name?
Because he had like a decent showing, but you know couldn't pull it out.
Calvin Kattar.
Was. Yeah. So he came. I think he came over from Bama. I want to say
Cage Warriors
on his last out. Cage Warriors, yeah. Came in on late notice. You know, tough fight to fight Kattar on short notice. But no, he comes back in this fight. You know, against Tamor. Good fight, man. This was actually pretty entertaining to watch. Fishgold out the gate. We're not doing none of this kickboxing nonsense. He's rushing straight in for takedowns. The first round was just really fun because there were just a lot of scrambles and Fishgold really trying to assert his grappling. But Tamor was, you know, holding his own, getting out of bad spots. He landed some good ground and pound on Fishgold. Fishgold had a nice flurry also. So it was a fun fight. You could clearly see what Fishgold's game plan was, and it was just kind of fun watching him just relentlessly go for it. And then in the second round, he got Tamor down. Got him down pretty early in the round, and then ended up getting a rear naked choke. But no, this was a fun. I thought it was a pretty fun scrap. Fishgold was really just going full head of steam the entire time, just trying to work the ground game, and eventually got it and got his first UFC win.
Yeah, I think we're learning that like the Tamor brothers, like if you just give them no space, they kind of just their offense just kind of shuts down. Because this is what happened with David. That's his name, right? David, the other one.
The David or Daniel?
Daniel. The other one's David, and he got absolutely deep hands fighting Charles Oliveira. Props to Fishgold, just absolute like we're talking about dudes like Peter Yan. Like Fishgold was just kind of like that, just relentless pursuit of like the inside. Even tagged Tamor a couple times real good in the first round. Even after while chasing takedowns. So solid performance. Yeah, you know, you can tell this meant a lot to him. Like, he's a dude who's been like grinding on the regional circuit. Like you don't see a lot of guys go 18-0 before getting to UFC nowadays, or 18-1. But you know that's Fishgold.
Yeah. Racking up them regional wins. Transferring over. So, another fun featherweight. And a division full of other fun featherweights. So, shout out to Fisher Gold getting his first W. I warn you guys, the more deeper we get into these prelims, the less my memory is going to help me out. So, forgive me. But moving down, flyweight division, we got Jillian Robertson versus Veronica Macedo. This was in vein kind of similar to Fish Gold in a way. Like, with Fish Gold, you knew exactly what he was trying to do. And with Jillian, we knew what she was trying to do. When the fight was on the feet, she was like, no, I don't want that. We're just going to go to the ground, and I'm going to try to figure this out. I don't remember this fight in a ton of specific detail. I just remember when it was on the feet, clearly Macedo was just faster, more technical, just better on the feet overall. It wasn't really close, but, you know, Jillian pretty slick on the ground, and just kept really pushing to work her grappling in, and then she finally got it in the second round. She got can't remember if this was the fight. Macedo just kind of gave up her back. Might be thinking of another fight, but yeah, Jillian just kept working to get the submission, and she finally got it in the second round, got a rear naked choke, and got the W.
Yeah, like Robertson seems to understand what her game is. Like, it is find a way to bring fight to ground and then chase submission 110% of like with 110% intensity. I can respect that. Yeah, like between her and Montana De La Rosa, there seems to be a group of very aggressive BJJ artists, just submission artists, just like finding a home at 125. I like that. Macedo. I was really excited to see her fight again after the Ashley Evans Smith fight, in which like she lost clearly because she was just way too small, but she was still like out there like landing some nice kicks and strikes on the feet. Then she went out and fought Andrea Lee and just got taken down repeatedly, and then in this fight again, just taken down with no signs of like resistance. And it just becomes clear that the Evan Smith fight was in part because Evan Smith is just kind of really awkward and really slow. Yeah, no, like Macedo's scrappy. She's only 23 years old. She's only been doing this for a couple years. Like she still has room to grow. She trains out of the MMA factory in Paris. Like, you'd like to see her go to maybe a different gym, try to pick up some of those skills that she's missing, but she's not where she needs to be in the UFC. Like, maybe she goes to Combate, maybe she goes to Invicta, but like she's obviously somebody who needs a lot more seasoning. Like, Robertson needs to learn how to strike, needs to learn how to wrestle a little bit better, but at least she has a game that's built for her to get wins over women who don't know what they're doing, like Emily Whitmire, Molly McCann, and Veronica Macedo, and like, and that's gonna get her wins. Like jiu-jitsu at the lowest levels of MMA is kind of your what you call it. I guess you call it your gatekeeper. Like, if you go to any regional promotion and you watch a few fights, like, it becomes pretty clear there are two types of fighters who win fights on the regional scene. Dudes who are super athletic, or guys who are just really good at jiu-jitsu. Like, it still reigns king if you're able to get the other person down and just you're just better at grappling, and you saw a little bit of that here.
Yeah, it might not do Macedo bad to. I mean, you don't want to see anybody get cut, but you know.
But like, this is her third straight loss in 3 fights in the UFC. Like,
yeah.
what?
Yeah, go to a like I said, a Combates. Go to a LFA, some organization in that vein. Rack up a couple wins, just to get some more experience, and then, you know, we'll see you back in like a year or two, and then see where you are. But I'm glad you did mention Combates because I have a shout out to give at the end, and I would not have remembered it if you didn't say that. But nah, shout outs to Jillian Robertson. Her and the red hair got it done. All right, so these next like 4 fights, I like rewatched them all like 3 times and still don't remember them. But I'm gonna try my hardest. Next fight, Damir Hadzovic and Marco Polo Reyes. Yeah, I don't remember the specifics of this fight. All I remember is the finish where Damir got Reyes down and started landing ground and pound, and then like he pinned his arm, and then just started beating on him, and I was like, ouch.
That was basically it.
That looks
that
looked kind of uncomfortable.
Yeah, I had to like halfway through the first round realize I guess it was part of his game plan, get Reyes thinking about striking and then just take him down because Reyes is a really bad grappler. Took him down the first, towards the end of the round, took him down the second. It almost immediately got mount. Like, he had a trip takedown and just immediately was in mount, which is not what you want to see. And no, just smart fight from Hadzovic. Had the path of least resistance available to him and took it.
Yeah.
He's now like what, 3-2 in the UFC? Lost to Tyson Mall, lost to Patrick, beat Held, Hine, and now Reyes. Yep, he's at 3-2 in the UFC. Oh, I wonder if he ever graduates from like European cards.
See, I don't know, man. It hurts being a lightweight. Yeah, it just hurts being a lightweight. That's the moral of that story. To quickly backtrack to the main event, this guy on Twitter, Costas Font, how you mentioned Jan just blitzed Thiago with a straight line. So he posted a GIF of the KO and literally just drew a straight line, and Jan head just like never moves. There's a GIF and it's just a straight line of Jan blitzing forward, and Jan's head never moves off the line. Like, it just stays there. Oh man. But I thought that was kind of funny. But moving on to the next fight, Ismail Nardiv and Michel Prazeres. I believe this was Nardiv's UFC debut.
He's the one who came in.
I guess what
Mr. Austrian Wonder Boy, I believe his nickname is.
For that short notice and to be a debut, not too shabby. Prazeres. No, the little tank, the big engine that could.
Into this fight on an 8-fight winning streak.
Yeah, kind of got shut down. Michel couldn't really get a ton off. Like, he was trying to like work his grappling, but I felt like all Michel did this fight was like survive, but like he didn't, because he got rocked in the first round. Yeah, he got caught with like a knee, and ate some strikes after that. And I felt like the fight for him pretty much like went downhill after that.
I didn't know, I knew Nardiev had the reputation of like being this flashy striker, but I didn't know he was like a Austrian national team wrestler. So like seeing him just like sweep Prazeres repeatedly and then reverse takedowns and get on top was kind of just weird, because like you're not expecting that from a dude who looks like he comes from like a taekwondo background.
Yeah, and Michel had no. Once the takedowns weren't working, I think Michel was just kind of stuck. Like at that point, it was just let me just survive this fight and not catch another knee to my face.
Right.
But there was not really a path to victory for him.
The thing that saved him probably from being stopped is that Nardiev was just as tired as he was.
Yeah.
You could tell like halfway through the second round that he was gassed.
Yeah, he was throwing kicks and he was just looked real heavy out there. He was looking kind of like, oh, I got this little stubby guy is not he's not going away. He keeps moving forward. But no, solid debut. I can't remember the odds, but I think he was an underdog.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, good on him. You come in 11 days, and you're the underdog, and you still get the W.
And only
So
22
shout out
years
to
old.
Nardeev. Good size for welterweight too. Seems pretty sturdy. So shout out to Nardeev. That was a good win. Moving down the card, Carlos Diego Ferreira and Rustam Kabalov. My first thought of this fight was like, remember when Kabalov was like ranked?
Remember when he main evented against Benson Henderson?
Right. Like, right. He was like a big deal at one point. Lightweight was still crazy talented back then, even more so now. But yeah, I just had a flashback. Like, it's kind of wild how like Kabalov at one point was that dude, and now he's.
I mean, we're not talking that far off either, because like after that fight, he lost to Adriano Martins in the fight he arguably should have won because it went to split decision, and he rattles off like 6 straight wins in a row.
God.
And now he just lost to Carlos Diego Ferreira.
Lightweight is crazy. Yeah, I like I said, I don't remember this fight in a ton of detail, but mostly what I took away from this fight was like we all know Kabalov's game. He's a really good grappler, and he couldn't really the way I think he's accustomed to kind of throwing guys around. He couldn't really do with Ferreira.
Yeah, like Ferreira did an amazing job of just getting up anytime Kabalov tried to do anything. Like at one point, he gets a reverse crucifix on a.
That was slick.
Yeah, like on a Kabalov takedown, and is just able to ride him out, and tries to go for a submission, like a rear naked choke. It's just great. Like at one point, Kabalov took him down, and he literally, while using the momentum from the takedown, runs up the side of the cage, and then just stands up. Matter of fact, I think he had like 2 Grammy rolls in this fight.
Yeah, Ferreira was doing a lot of slick. It was a lot of slick stuff he was doing.
Yeah, we're not even talking about the stuff he was doing on the feet, where like this volume and refusing to let Kabalov like, I guess, readjust. Just like really solid. Like, this is his best performance. Like he's been knocking dudes out lately, but like I think this is the most all together his game has looked, and that was definitely like in my eyes his best performance. Just sucks that he missed weight. Came in at 157.
Well, hopefully that's just like a one time thing. Like he's another. I don't know how far he could go up the lightweight ladder, but just another talented, fun guy who probably give you solid performances night in, night out. But no, like being able to hold your own against Kabalov grappling, I think is something of note. So yeah, really good performance on him. He got a unanimous decision over Kabalov. So shout outs to Carlos Ferreira. And the last fight, which honestly I do not remember at all, Damir Ismagulov defeated Joel Alvarez via unanimous decision, but I don't really remember this fight.
My impressions from this fight was, why is Joel Alvarez, like, he was punching down, like, with his jab, so his head was just straight up in the air, and Damir would, like, feint, and Alvarez would bite it and, like, kind of throw that down jab, and then Damir would just come over the top with, like, the only 2 punches he threw, which were an overhand right and a left hook. And he would land, and if he kept going, or if he was a little bit more aggressive, he probably could have got Alvarez out of there, but for whatever reason, he was just content to, like, do this, like, soft kickboxing match. Like, he had Alvarez biting on everything he feinted. But yeah, a win's a win, I guess. So,
yeah, whatever gets the job done. So yep, Damir won via unanimous decision, and that was the card. That was UFC Prague. I feel like we say this about a few cards. That not really a ton in terms of like star power, but a solid.
Diego Santos is the biggest star in the industry. How dare you?
I mean, he's like the only one on this card. No. Everybody else is just.
Yeah, I get it.
You guys don't have hammers on your chest, so. But nah, like it's solid night of fights. Not the best card in the world, but you know, hey man, you got a free evening. Go on ESPN Plus, go rewatch. Still fights worth of note. You know, Fishgold and Tamor was pretty fun. Obviously Petr Yan, amazing performance. Even the John Vellante fight, just to watch the finish, the body shot, and obviously the main event, which ended in just devastating fashion. And if you're a Struve fan, you know, got to see a nice comeback win, and if that's his retirement, you know, he ends on a good note. So still things worth of note on this card, but you know, solid night throughout. If you got time, if you have ESPN Plus, like I said, you can go on ESPN Plus. They have all the fights posted, so you can just go back and watch the stream. You know, maybe just go back and watch the fighters you wanted to see, but decent night.
Go watch Jan versus Dotson in the main event.
Yeah, that was definitely. If nothing else, go watch those two, and then maybe Fishgold, Tamor. Everything else, you know, if you're interested, check it out. If not, you're not missing out on anything too crazy. But you know, solid night of fights. It is what it is. So that was UFC Prague. So shout outs to everybody who won. Some good performances worth of note. And I guess real quick, upcoming, man, next week we got the big one. UFC 235, John Jones versus Anthony Smith.
Is it the point out how comical the main event is? Not because of like who's involved, but only because if you read the title of the event, it's UFC 235, Jones versus Smith, and I'm just like, damn, those names sound like placeholders.
Right. This sounds like a regional. Like
this sounds like we just got like the two most common names and stuck them like Anthony Smith, John Jones.
John Jones. Like this is definitely the Target manager versus the Walmart
exactly.
Manager. Like yeah. But man, I still got to do my write up for this card.
There you go. That's to write about. It's a great card, top to bottom.
Yeah, it is. It is, man. I actually took off of work. What's crazy is I took off work for this card, even though I got off at 3:30. Like,
I mean, you need to make sure you sleep in so you got the energy to power through.
Yeah. I think I just wanted to, like, on Friday when I get off, I just want to be able to really chill out and relax. And Saturday morning I can, you know, do my research or just figure my day out.
Freaking Zabit Magomed Sharapov and Jeremy Stevens is justifiably not even on the main card. Like that, and that's a great fight.
Just to go through this card, man. Like I took off for this, and to be honest, as much as we talked about the Holloway and Poirier, I might take off for that one too. But just to go through the fights on this card, man. You got obviously Jones versus Smith, Woodley versus Usman, Robbie Lawler versus Ben Askren, who's making his debut. Tisha Torres versus Weili Zhang, who if she wins, she's pretty much that. I would say like that next person at strawweight. Garbrandt versus Munoz, like you said. Magomed Sharapov versus Jeremy Stevens. Johnny Walker coming in on short notice against Misha Serkinov. Alejandro Perez versus Cody Stamann. Mickey Gall versus Diego Sanchez. You gotta take the good with the bad.
You get Edmund. You get Edmund's boy.
Oh, Edmund, how you say
Shabazian.
Shabazian versus Charles Bird.
That's Edmund Tarverdian's protege right there. Team Glendale.
Coming in at 8-0. Macy Chiasson, she's fighting again against Gina Mazzani. Frankie Saenz versus Marlon Vera. And Poliana Viana versus Hannah Cyphers. This is a really good card.
Like the only two fights on this card that I do not like are the Diego Sanchez Mickey Gall fights and the Edmund Shabazian fight because he's boring.
And I've never seen, so I can't confirm.
Who did he fight in his debut? Like he fought. It was like the worst fight on the card. Darren Stewart at the Tough 28 finale.
I don't even remember this.
You wouldn't because it was bad.
I do not remember that fight at all.
But
And he was on the
Yeah,
contender
but those are the
series.
only two fights that you can go take a smoke break or something. I don't know.
Yeah, go refill the chips and bathroom break, all that good stuff. But no, like the rest of this card, man. Like I know Jones has had his issues, but bro, this card is fire. Like there is so much heat on this card. I will say though, um, I feel like there is potential of letdowns for Lawler Askren and Woodley Usman. On paper, they sound really awesome, but I feel like there is a chance these fights might not be like super exciting.
But you know
But
what?
either way, I'm interested to see how they all just
You know
play
what?
out.
Now you bring it up, I'm putting myself out there. I am a Tyron Woodley defender. Damn it, dude gets shit for boring fights where like oh my god, like the Maya fight where he tears his labrum in his power hand in the first, his power shoulder in the first round, and people are mad he doesn't freaking finish Damian Maya, or when he fought Kelvin Gastelum and he broke his foot in the first round. And like, I'm not talking about like he broke like a toe. Like he broke like, if you go back and you look at the X-rays, I just saw them yesterday. He broke like three of the connecting bones for like three of his feet, like three of his toes. Like I am awful at anatomy, so I could not tell you what they are, but they were literally just snapped. So like I don't know. I respect Woodley. Like I think he is more fun than people give him credit for, especially when he's healthy. I think Usman coming forward, because like that's the only way Usman knows how to fight, will provide opportunities for Woodley to hit him as hard as he can in the face. The only question is, does Usman continue to come forward after he gets cracked, or is he able to, or does he fall off, or does he adapt and just like it turns into a 25-minute clinch fest? That interests me.
Yeah, we'll
But
see.
I will admit,
Um,
having Jones, Woodley, and Askren back to back to back. I mean, like we've seen John Jones be tentative with people he doesn't have reads on before, like the OSP fight. So that has me kind of worried. Like, okay, what if he just toys with Smith for 25 minutes?
I'm all for it.
But like after like Tyron Woodley and Usman goes 25 minutes, and after Ben Askren spends 15 minutes trying to get something done against Robbie Lawler.
Yeah, it could be
Yeah.
exhausting. It could be. But you never know, man. This sport's kind of wild, so we never
So what
know
you're telling me
what
is Anthony
could
Smith's going to be
happen.
champion on March
Hey,
3rd.
man. Hey, man. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but
I
if it
need
does,
all the chaos, damn it.
like, bro, Anthony Smith could just go out there and just like empty the tank in the
And
first round and just
we were talking about like a couple weeks ago, I guess, with Marlon Moraes murdering freaking Rafael Assunção. Like, what if Pedro Munoz just goes out there and does the damn thing against Garbrandt?
I think he can, man.
He
Like,
can, yeah, he can. If Garbrandt hangs in the pocket with him, dude, like Munoz hits hard, and he is one of the best at getting that guillotine going. Like,
yeah.
if he does something, like if he catches him, like where does Munoz go? Because now he's like the third or fourth person in the title talk with TJ Dillashaw.
Yeah, Garbrandt's gonna need to be. He needs to fight a smart fight. That
Bro,
fight, like don't come in and just try to throw crazy hands and don't take the risk, man. Just fight a smart, like the way he did against Cruz. To me, that was a really
right.
smart fight. Albeit Cruz, you don't really have to worry about KO power,
Yeah,
but
even then, like it was a close fight. Like it was 3 rounds to 2 on the scorecards. I think one judge gave, or one or two judges gave him the 49-47, not 49-47, 48-46, because he got a 10-8 in there. But like Cruz won 2 of those rounds. So
yeah,
like even then, like if he lets Munoz hang around longer than he needs to, dude, like Munoz is a really good finisher and hella
yeah.
dangerous. Like,
There are gonna be a lot of storylines from this card because Jones is just always a story. Woodley seems to be always a story, whether it be positive or negative. We'll get to see what Askren can finally bring.
Weili Zhang,
Yeah,
potentially China's first UFC title challenger.
Right.
Zabit Magomed Sharapov. Is he for real? Johnny Walker. Like, yeah, no, this is a really good
Yeah.
card.
Yeah. This next podcast is gonna be fun. This this card, no matter who wins or who loses, this is gonna be fun to
Yeah,
talk about.
we need to send
Uh,
up the bat signal, bro. Or the Stog signal
yeah,
and the
yeah.
Joey
We might,
signal.
yeah. Yeah, we're gonna need backup because this is gonna be something. This is gonna be something.
We're hyping it up so
Um,
much and just all the fights good.
right. Is it gonna end up like that one, the Redoom card that every fight goes to decision, but like one. Oh man, but nah, man, UFC 235. This is going to be fire. So we'll definitely be here talking about it. I might actually drop the 60 or 70, how much this ever costs, because I'm really, really, really looking forward to this. But that's UFC 235. That'll be next week on March 2nd. So you guys definitely be sure to tune into that because that's just gonna be all kinds of fun. But that's pretty much all we got for today's episode. So as always, we will close out with our parting shots and shout outs, which I actually did my due diligence and wrote mine down this time. My shout outs, I'll start off with, just to reiterate, man, shout out to Stefan Struve. If that's the end of the career, man, just best of luck. I've been a fan. He gave me the Stipe win. He gave me, I cannot remember the other guy he fought where his face was like bloody, like the entire fight, and he came back and won.
Was it the
And, what fight was that?
Pat Barry? No.
No, God, now I'm gonna have to Google this.
I know what you're talking about too.
God, this is gonna bother me.
Wasn't LeVar Johnson?
No, it was I was say it's a white dude, but that does not really narrow
Right.
down. I'm not gonna say the guy was a no name, but it was it Christian Moore? No, was it Sean McCorkle or Christian Moorcraft? It was one of these two. I think it was McCorkle. It was either the Sean McCorkle or Christian Moorcraft. It was one of those fights where like he was getting bloodied up. It was looking kind of wild, and he like came back and won, and his face was all bloody, and he was screaming around the cage, and blood was pouring from his nose. It was a good time. But no, just shout out to Stefan Struve. But best of luck in retirement if this is the last go around. Also, shout outs to Road FC. They had $1 million lightweight tournament, and their final was, I guess, sometime this weekend. The winner was Mansoor Vana, and he won via knee KO. It was actually pretty dope. He flatlined the guy. I don't know the other gentleman's name who caught the knee, but Mansoor won $1 million. So shout outs to you and your million. Don't spend it all in one
Oh,
place.
you took mine.
Oh,
Deep.
sorry.
No.
Shout outs to Zoila Frost though, who I didn't know up until like yesterday. Fought. She was in Combate 31, Mexico versus USA, and she hasn't fought since 2016. So it's been 3 years. She came back this weekend and she won via TKO. And I read she's fighting at flyweight now. And I read a little article on her. She's 35 years old, but she feels like flyweight is the perfect division for her.
Well, yeah, like I remember her trying to cut to like strawweight years ago when she was fighting in Bellator, and she looked awful.
Yeah. So she said she feels like this is the perfect time for a comeback. Flyweight's a division that's on the rise, and she feels like she can. She's still got more in the tank. So shout outs to her coming back. Shout outs to everybody who bought my book. Got me another 5-star review on Amazon.
Yeah.
By the All Chronicles for either 99 cents if you want the digital, $8.99 if you want the paperback. So thank you to everybody who's been reading and leaving me feedback. Greatly appreciate it. And my parting shot, man, shot at everybody who's been trolling the Captain Marvel reviews, who are leaving negative reviews before the movie even comes out. I don't know, like y'all just got way too much time on your hands. Like I think the movie's at like a 43% because stupid people have been going in there leaving reviews. I think they were mad. What's the actress's name? I can't remember her name. Who's playing
Brie
Captain
Larson?
Marvel. Yeah. People were mad at her for something she said, and I think that's the reason why they're like going out and leaving negative reviews. But like, come on, man, like y'all are.
I mean, the same people who are leaving the negative reviews are the same people who left the negative reviews for like the Force Awakens and the Last Jedi. Like they're the same crowd.
Yeah. Well, I'll keep my Last Jedi comments to myself. But no, point being, like, it's one thing to not like a movie because like you didn't think it was a good movie, but this ain't even out yet. So it's like, come on, man. Like y'all are doing too much. But then at the end of the day, it don't matter because they said the movie's probably on pace to already make like 120 mil opening weekend. I think around the same figures as like Wonder Woman did, could possibly surpass it. So, your hate isn't really doing anything because this movie's still gonna make crazy money. But like y'all are just doing too much. So pardon shots to y'all. Go do something productive with your life. Go log off the internet for once and I don't know. Go do something. Go be somebody. But that's all I got for my parting shots and shout outs.
Since you mentioned them, Marvel, Hayabusa, came out with a line of like Marvel gloves, and for the most part, like they look pretty good. But I really like the Captain Marvel gloves that they designed for them. I don't know if you've seen them.
Oh, I didn't know they had a whole line. I only saw.
Oh yeah, no, they have the Captain America, the Punisher, Black Panther, and Iron Man. No Hulk gloves, which seems like a waste of, like, it seems poorly. Oh, that might be like a studio thing. Now I think about it, but yeah, that they should. Like, I feel like the Hulk glove should have been like the immediate, like, oh yeah, we could totally do that.
Jesus, these joints are $230.
Yeah, no, they're really cool, but they are hella expensive, and they're probably not all that durable, to be honest. But that's one of my shoutouts because those look really cool. Shoutouts to Cinesa Estrada, who fought on the the Rios Soto undercard last night or Friday or whatever. She picked up a win. She's now like 16-0. So props to her. And shouts to YouTuber Kawami Japan, who I think I shout out on the show before. Just shout out because I love his videos. They're literally just him making knives out of random things. Like he made a knife out of like smoke from a candle. Yeah,
What?
It's amazing. I'll send you the video. Freaking, it's amazing. Like he was just like,
What kind of wizardry is this?
Smoke knife.
These Punisher gloves are nice. I'm looking at all of the Marvel gloves.
They also have like a Punisher gi, I think.
If one of y'all could drop, we have to start the Dojotalkpodcast crowdfund. Oh, they got shorts. Sure. Oh man. Oh, the gi is. Oh, this is nice. I mean, I can't wear a gi. I'm not, I'm a martial artist. I'll be out here being a fraud, but.
you just buy the gi and then you join the BJJ gym and then you wear the gi and then they all think you're a psychopath.
Yeah, I come in with the Punisher day one and I get tapped out by everybody. Oh man!
I sent you the link to the video where this man literally, like, he collects the smoke ashes in a frying pot, pours them into a little cup, and then turns them into a knife. It's amazing.
That is true talent.
Like, I want to know what the thought process is. Like, there's some, like, people's creativity will never cease to amaze me.
It's little things like this. Oh, I'm waiting for the video to look. But it's little things like this that still give me like hope in the world. Like there's still people out there who are just pushing boundaries. Albeit this is not the way I would think you would, but hey, man, I'm all for it. You know. I want to know, like, how, like, what was the first thought that made you think, like, oh, I can put smoke in a jar and. Oh, hold up, I missed the whole process. Fast forwarded too quick. Yeah, this is kind of wild though. You guys should definitely watch.
Yeah,
this.
dude's name is Kiwami Japan. Like,
yeah, spelled Kiwami Japan. This is the sharpest smoke knife in the world. He has 2.1 million subscribers. They need to make him like in a movie, and he can be like the secret level blacksmith. Like, this is like the last technique. This is like the secret weapon that takes down the bad guy.
This is why the internet's great, because like 20, 30 years ago, there would have been no space for this. Like, how do you get this out to people? Because if you try to put this on like the news as like a segment, like, you know, like how there's like a cooking segment, you just put like, how do you make a knife out of your underwear segment, which is one of his videos, by the way.
Jesus. Yeah, see, pre-internet, he'd have just been some random guy in like Milwaukee. I don't know why we keep bringing up Milwaukee. Oh, thank you, Ja Rule. But he'd just been some random guy in Milwaukee that we never would have heard of. But like Milwaukee, he'd be like a legend.
Aluminum foil knife. Gemstone knife. Knife.
Ah, see, you know what this ties into?
Wait, no.
Battle of the Nations.
Oh, right. Wait, that's not till May.
But I'm just saying though, when they need new weapons,
right.
This is it. This is it.
Sharpest chocolate guillotine in the world. Yo.
Ah, man, you know what? Real quick before we leave, I gotta give oh god, what is his name? I gotta give a shout out actually to Nike. They did an event here in Baltimore. I think it already happened. I'm pretty sure at the time of this recording, by the time you guys hear this, it already happened. But they did an event at the Reginald F. Lewis Museum. This probably won't mean much for anybody who doesn't live in Maryland, because you probably have no idea who I'm talking about. But anybody, if you're from Maryland, if you know the Baltimore Running Man, for people who don't know, dude's like a Baltimore like local legend. The man runs everywhere. And they gave him a Nike commercial.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, and that was like really awesome. And they debuted it at the event that they had at the Reginald F. Lewis Museum. I haven't seen the commercial yet. Trying to search for it now, which probably isn't the best time. I might have to bring this up next week. But yeah, man, they gave the Baltimore Running Man a commercial, and that's really dope, man. Like, if I've lived in Baltimore since, well, I don't live in Baltimore anymore, but I still live in Maryland. But like, I moved to Baltimore in like mid '90s, and yeah, man, he's literally like a local legend. Like, if you've lived in Baltimore since I've lived in Baltimore, you know who the Baltimore Running Man is. And the fact that he got a commercial is pretty awesome. So shout outs to the Baltimore Running Man. That's really dope. And shout outs to Nike for putting him in a commercial. It's just a nice feel good moment in a month where a lot of not feel good things have been happening. It was pretty nice to see that. So shout outs to Nike and the Baltimore Running Man. Got any more shout outs? Any more shots?
No shots. No shout outs. I wonder what the UFC rating is going to be on ESPN 2, because they were let in by rock climbing or something. I don't know. That's it. Everything's,
yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Shots at the weather. Pick a temperature and stick to it.
Yes, it's
trash.
No,
shit.
Don't bring that up. It's not real.
Yeah, no, I'm good. Everything's good.
Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much it for today's episode, and we kept our promise, under 3 hours.
Yay.
Yay. But yeah, man. So just look out, man. More podcasts coming. Big pay-per-view next week, so we'll be talking about that, and I'll have my write-up done. I'll probably have to work on that either today or tomorrow. Probably today. It's gonna be a busy day today. A lot of adulting, but be on the lookout for that. I'll be doing the write-up for the good folks at the Technical File podcast. So whenever they post that up, I will let you guys know so you guys can read it. So on and so forth. But anywho, as always, check out this podcast, man. SoundCloud, YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, Google Play. Follow us on social media at the Dojo Talk Podcast Facebook page, as well as the Instagram page. Send questions to dojotalkpodcast@yahoo.com. Follow me on Twitter at Serial Sensei. Follow me on Twitch at Serial Sensei. And that's it. So as always, anytime people are being punched and or kicked in the face, we will be there to talk about it. And until next time, we will catch you guys later.